Hello, everybody, and welcome into another Senators News and Rumors video here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and as always, joined in by Jacob Billington as we continue through the season for the Senators and the rest of the NHL. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well. Senators are playing fairly well as of late. Things are going good. Yeah, thanks for asking.
It's been interesting. I don't know, throughout the NHL. Actually, there's a lot of surprising teams, players, lots of stuff going on. So I mean, the Senators are actually doing pretty well the last 10 games, which is a good development, because I think the last video we did, they weren't doing too well. So I mean, they're 6-1-3 in their last 10. Do you have any confidence in the team now? Because there was a stretch there where they're like, I don't know if they were maybe falling back into that kind of that gray area of being maybe they're good, maybe they're not. How much confidence you got in the team now that they're on a bit of a run here?
Yeah, the Senators are 6-1-3 in their last 10 games, but it really hasn't instilled much confidence. That's a really good looking record. Like, that's a really attractive number. They've gone to overtime almost every game. They've been blowing leads. They've been falling apart in the game. And it just hasn't been a strong 10 games despite the 6-1-3 record. Like, it's weird to see a record that good and have complaints. But it's not going to last forever. If they're blowing all these leads, they're going to start really struggling in these games. They're not scoring super well. We'll talk about that later. And like, the wins that they're getting aren't convincing at all. And even some overtime games, you're like, yeah, this team dominated that whole game, but somehow the other team held in. Right now, Ottawa is the team that's holding in. You'll see like a really dominant period from them. You'll see a dominant shift from a few guys, but it doesn't feel real that they could have a 6-1-3 record after the last 10 games. And you look at the next 6 games, they've got Boston to close out their homestand, and that could be a winnable game. But then they're headed out west, and Ottawa typically does not do very well out west. They've got 4 games in California. They've got 2 against the Kings, 1 against the Sharks, and 1 against the Ducks. And then they head over to Vegas. So that's a really tough road trip. The Ducks are obviously like one of the best teams in the NHL somehow. The Kings are always a good team. They're not doing super well right now, but they're still a good team. The Sharks are young and fun. They like to play spoiler. They're doing fairly well right now too. It's not an easy trip. And then Vegas is Vegas. So this next 6 games, that road trip, it's going to tell a lot about what Ottawa is going to be, whether they're a real team that belongs at the top of the Atlantic or not. Right now, they're within grasping distance. They get their problems turned around, then they're in a great position to start thriving. But if they're not going to start taking advantage of these opportunities to close out games, then I don't know. I feel like they've blown a lead in almost all of those last 10 games at some point. It's been frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the overall record, yes, it looks great, 6-1-3, but you add the 3, that's losses, in my opinion. I mean, basically they're 6-4. So I mean, you're leaving a game not with a win, even though that 6-1-3 on when you just look at it, it looks great. And then, like you said, you dig deeper. It kind of, when you watch the games, did it feel like they're doing this well? Yeah, maybe not. So yeah, they got to fix some things for sure. And like you mentioned, I mean, the Sharks, they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. They're playing really well. They got the second best. Macklin Celebrini is tied for second in the NHL in scoring right now. So it's like, yeah, and Leo Carlsson is tied with him there too. So you're dealing with 2 really high-end forwards in the next bit here too. So yeah, it's going to be a tough road trip. I mean, in the past, you're like, oh, Ducks, Sharks, yeah, we can deal with them. Not this season. Those 2 teams are doing pretty well right now. So,
which I do love to see. The Ducks and the Sharks. I love what they've built. I'm excited to see them dominate, but just not against Ottawa.
Yeah. And they're both in the Pacific Division. I say I want the Pacific Division to be more competitive. Well, I'm getting it.
Now it is, and the Canucks are on the outside looking in.
Yeah. But it's going to be a tough road trip. All these teams for sure. All right, moving. I mean, another theme, and of course, throughout the NHL, injuries are always a thing. Chabot's injured now. One of their top defensemen and the left side. What do you think? How does it look now without him leading the way in the lineup there?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you still have Jake Sanderson and Tyler Clevin. Travis Green or Steve Staios, I don't remember who said it, but one of them said that Thomas Chabot is not going to play tomorrow. The Senators, or I guess when you're listening today, the Senators are going to really miss him. He's been a very positive presence on the back end, which he started to head downhill pretty quickly. The lack of quality right shot defenseman to pair with him was a big issue. But now him and Jordan Spence have been phenomenal. And it's unfortunate that the first game that they finally start together, Chabot leaves after the first period. So there was a lot of kind of debate on what the injury was. So he took a hit. He got it looked like the middle of his back hit the top of the boards by the bench. He left. He didn't play. That was like at the end of the period. He came out and took a practice lap around at the start of the second period. Decided he wasn't ready to go. There were some people saying that it was concerning how fast that the Senators announced that it was that he wasn't going to return. I don't think that was that concerning. They had the whole intermission. They had the time between the injury and the end of the period. Like they had time to figure out. And then I think it was another 15 real minutes until they announced it. So I'm not super concerned about Thomas Chabot's injury. In the meantime, I'm not certain what they're going to do on that left side. I think it would make sense to move Nick Jensen over. He hasn't looked phenomenal this year, but he's the veteran guy on that right side. Artem Zub, you're not going to take him away from Sanderson. Nicholas Matenpalo and Jordan Spence, you could put them on the left side. With Spence's skating, I think that actually might make a bit of sense, but Nick Jensen is just the quality vet. Even though he hasn't had the best season, he knows what he's doing. He can play the left side for a couple games if that's what it's going to take. Senators don't have much to call up on the left side. They have some younger guys, but nobody I would be super confident in. I wouldn't want to see Matt and Palo sit while like Jorian Donovan comes up and plays. I wouldn't want to see that. I'd rather put a righty on the left side. I'm not too concerned. If it's a long-term injury, that sucks, and then that's a whole nother conversation. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it's a huge deal. And the Senators will get through, I would guess, like 3 games or so. They said it's kind of, he's still being observed. So it's obviously nothing too significant if they don't have any idea what it is yet. So.
For sure. And the thing is, I mean, you don't want to kind of panic either right now into doing a trade or doing something like that crazy, especially if it's going to be very short term. You next man up, use your depth, and hope for the best that it's going to work out. So, hopefully he's not out for too long. All right. Looking at, I mean, we did talk about this briefly, I believe, on the last video about potentially adding someone to the team. They desperately really need a top 6 winger right now. Some of the solutions that they were thinking might work out haven't. There are some guys that are potentially available. Not sure how much. I mean, Adrian Kempe in LA, not sure about that. I mean, they're probably looking at extending him as well. There's some other guys out there. Who are you looking at? Should they add someone to the top 6 here?
They need to add somebody to the top 6. Even so, Brady Tkachuk is out. That's a huge blow for the team. That's no excuse to have a guy like Dylan Cousins, who has been playing very well, offensively at least. He's slowed down a bit, but that might have something to do with Ridley Gregg and Fabian Zetterlund playing on his wings, who have a combined 3 goals this season in 34 games played between the two of them. That is not enough.
No.
You need a guy that can put the puck in the net. If you're going to have Dylan Cousins on the second line, you're just wasting them at this point if you have those guys. I'm a huge Ridley Gregg fan. I think he absolutely has a spot on this team. Even if it was like Ridley Gregg and Dylan Cousins, but it was Drake Batherson on the other wing. Like, they just need at least another guy on that line. Nick Cousins was playing on the top line for a while. Claude Giroux's down in the bottom 6 now. They really, really need to make a big addition. I don't know about the availability of Adrian Kempe. That would be the ideal acquisition, and then you could extend him $11 million a year or whatever. If you could figure that out. Steve Staios, it's been reported that he has been ready to make a trade. I think David Pagnotta said that a couple times. I think a couple other people have mentioned that. The Ottawa Senators should be ready to make a trade, and if they don't, then you're letting the rest of the team down. That would be Steve Staios saying you guys don't deserve an upgrade. He did say that missing Brady Tkachuk is no excuse. It's no excuse for any poor play or anything. He needs to act on that, because you can't go a whole season and expect to make the playoffs and thrive in the playoffs if 34 games played with 3 goals between the 2 wingers on the second line. That's just unacceptable. Fabian Zetterlund does not have a place in the top 6. You'd be hard pressed to get me convinced that he has a spot in the top 9. I think he's a fantastic asset, and I don't hate the contract, but he hasn't been doing very well in Ottawa. He looks good on the ice, he plays well. He's just not producing, and that's if you're not producing, then what's the point?
For sure. And I mean, they definitely need that's like third, fourth line numbers. I said to that production. You're not going to get very far when your second line's only producing at that little. So yeah, they definitely need something. Who it will be, we'll have to wait and see. But there are some options out there, like I said, but there's varying reports. I don't know if any of these guys are actually available. Jason Robertson's another name that's been thrown out there. Not sure if the Dallas Stars are in the market to trade him. Not sure about that. So yeah, lots of names, but are they actually around to get?
Right. And I think it would be a disservice to the team in terms of assets, at least, if he went out, Steve Staios went out and got Ricard Raquel or Brian Rust, or someone along those lines. That's not who you need. Or even Alex Tuck. I love Alex Tuck as a player. He'd be great, but that's not what the Ottawa Senators need right now. They need a game breaker, and that trade is going to have to be somebody like Kempe or Nick Robertson if he's or not Nick. I don't want Nick Robertson on the team. Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
You got to call. You got to figure out are you going to sign him to a contract, or are you going to trade him? Because we need to be in line if you're going to trade him. So. They can't go the whole season without making some kind of addition. Yeah,
I agree with that for sure. All right, let's finish with a guy like that would really help this as well. The power play. They were one of the best, not the one of the best, the best in the NHL at one point. They've fallen to 10th, which is not horrible, but that's a pretty big drop off, being first and going down to 10. Why is this? Why has all of a sudden happened this? I know Brady Tkachuk being out really kind of kills that, but they should still be pretty good.
It was 6 or 7 games ago. Oh, I hope nobody comments about the 6-7 stuff on that. It was 6 or 7 games ago. Ottawa scored, and they were first in the league on the power play. They had a 30.9% or something like that. That was completely unsustainable. Sure.
Yeah.
Finished the season around 26, maybe. That's a good season. But they haven't scored since then. They took the lead. I think it was over the Edmonton Oilers. They officially became first place in power play percentage, and they have not scored since then. I believe it's been 19 opportunities since. That is horrible.
Yeah.
You've only got 4 players with more than 1 power play goal. Dylan Cousins, who's been great, Drake Batherson, who has less games played than anybody else on either unit, Tim Stützle, and then you have David Perron. What is your team doing if 16 games into the season and you don't have 5 guys to have scored 2 power play goals? I don't know. And I know that it's not all about the power play goals. Claude Giroux, he's been doing well. He has 3 power play assists and whatever, but you look at Brandon Hagel, he did very, very well on Tampa's power play after going a year and a half without scoring a power play goal. you need those guys, but you also need the people to score goals. He has been a valuable asset to that top power play unit because everybody else is so successful because of him.
Mhm.
Ottawa doesn't have that. Like Tim Stützle, only 4 power play points so far, 17 games in. You need more than that. Drake Batherson has 5, 14 games. Dylan Cousins has 7. That's good. Jake Sanderson has 6. He's quarterback in the top unit. Chabot has 4. Outside of that, there's nothing. And I know that there's only 10 guys that play the power play, but you need at least somebody to start dominating here.
Mm.
Like it's not ideal. And Dylan Cousins he was doing very, very well. He hasn't, obviously, in at least the last 7 games because nobody has on the second. Yeah. It's just been terrible to watch. I actually take that back. It hasn't been terrible to watch. They're just not scoring on their chances.
Yeah.
That's the most frustrating part.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they're struggling, always getting cleared and whatever, then yeah. But if you're getting chances, you just can't execute. That is really frustrating to watch for sure. So, yeah, hopefully they can get their power play moving in the right direction. Like I say, 10th is not bad. I mean, some teams would be like, oh, we'd love to be 10th on the power play. Right. But yeah, it's especially when they were first not that long ago and going on that bad of a run. It's not good to see for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's another news and rumors for the Senators. Thanks, Jacob, for coming on and talking Senators as always. Make sure to check out everything at thehockeybears.com. We got great articles throughout the website. Make sure to subscribe to our Substack newsletter if you haven't already. And then take a look at all the other videos we got on the YouTube channel as we continue through the season. But until our next video, we will see you next time.